Would you like to learn the secrets of Rafael Nadal's buggy whip forehand? It's a shot that players are mesmerized by, but it's so misunderstood. Well, in today's lesson, I'm going to show you how he does it and the ways that he uses it to be successful. My name is Jeff Salzenstein. I'm the founder of Tennis Evolution, one of the leading online tennis instruction websites in the world. We're committed to helping millions of players learn how to play like the pros in a way that actually makes sense. This is what we do here. We help break down what's really happening at the highest levels of the game, and we bring it to junior tennis players and club players and just passionate players of all ages and levels so that they can feel more like a pro on the court themselves. But here's the key: you have to know what to focus on. You have to know the right drills and tips and tactics that the pros are using, because there's a lot of misleading and confusing information out there. And today we're talking about Nadal's buggy whip forehand. First, we have to talk about the problem with the buggy whip forehand, or the reverse forehand as others like to call it. There's a lot of coaches out there that don't think you should use the buggy whip forehand, and they don't teach it. So right away there's this kind of dogma or this criticism or judgment around the buggy whip forehand. And I'm saying, wait a minute, the best players in the world are using it. Federer, Djokovic, Thiem, all of them are using the buggy whip, including the guy who uses it more than anyone and who dominates pro tennis when he's healthy. Well, besides Djokovic and Federer, of course, they dominate as well, but he's certainly dominating on the clay. He uses the buggy whip better than anyone. So what's really happening with this buggy whip forehand? Listen, most of you out there, if you ever try the buggy whip, you're swinging up on the same side of the body and you're pulling off the ball and you're finishing on the same side of your body like this. If you do it that way, if you do it the Sharapova way, if you swing up and you don't extend, you're not going to get the power, you're not going to get the right amount of spin and heaviness on the ball, and you're certainly going to set yourself up for a possible shoulder injury. So here is the key, and I want you to understand this. Nadal's forehand, the buggy whip, you must extend way out towards the target. You've got to extend out towards your opponent. Look how far out my hand is before it comes back around to the same side of the body. So I'm going to show a couple of examples here. You have to go out and around. Out and around. So you go extend and around. And so what I like to do is I like to have people actually freeze here before they come back here. Because if you come back here, you might come back too fast and you might do it without extending. That is the key to Nadal's forehand, is that he extends out and then he comes back around. Now, there are many places in the court that Nadal uses this forehand. And I'm going to show you 4 shots that he uses it on that can make an absolute difference if you apply even one of these to your game. Now, this first one is the forehand cross court. Now, if you're a lefty, it's probably going to work a lot better to use this forehand cross court because you can hit it into the right-hander's backhand. If you use this buggy whip hook angle, this shot right here, okay, if you use that shot right there, and you're right-handed, it's going to go to the righty's forehand. So that's probably not the most effective use of the buggy whip if you're right-handed, unless you have your opponent on the other side of the court and you can angle them off the court. Then you can use it. But if you're just in a cross-court rally, angling it is probably not the best option, but that is one use for it. The second use, the second way that Nadal uses it is on his forehand down the line, which is an absolute howitzer. It's a bazooka. It shoots off the racket. He hits stone cold winners down the line. He gets out there and he uses the buggy whip down the line. He extends, and he goes down the line. It's an absolute devastating shot. You can't read it because you think that Nadal's going to go cross court, and at the last moment, down the line winners. It's incredible, and I would use that if you're right-handed or left-handed. I would develop the buggy whip forehand down the line winner. It's a shot that helped me break the top 100 in the world, along with that forehand cross court that I just showed you. Now, the third way that you can use the buggy whip. The Rafael Nadal buggy whip forehand is to actually hit it on the dead run. You're hitting a running forehand. A lot of players, when they run across the court, and they swing across their body like this. You just can't swing with the same acceleration and the same relaxation that Nadal can when you're running across the court and you don't use the buggy. You just can't do it. So you've got to use the buggy whip on the run. So what I like to do is on the run, make sure that I keep my racket up like this. See how it finishes on the same side of my body? So you got to practice that. That's a shot that I practiced almost every day on the Pro Tour. I had players feed it to me, or I should say coaches feed me this wide ball, and I ran across the court. You'll see Nadal do this as well. Pete Sampras made that running forehand buggy whip famous. All right, the next use for the buggy whip forehand is the approach shot. You can actually use a buggy whip approach shot. And so if you get a short ball, whether you go off your front foot or whether you go off your outside leg, you can use the buggy whip and advance to the net. Okay, it's a great way to take the ball early and use this buggy whip forehand. And you will see Nadal use it, especially when he's running across the court. He'll run across the court and he'll use that buggy whip swing. It's absolutely essential if you want to go to higher and higher levels to add this buggy whip forehand. I shouldn't say it's absolutely essential. I take that back. You don't have to do it. But let's just say it gives you more flexibility and the ability to handle stress-based shots. That's why we use the buggy whip. When you're under stress, the ball's coming fast. If you want to disguise it better, if you want to hook around the ball, get more spin and rotation on your forehand, consider using the buggy whip. But you must do it in the correct fashion with the extension, getting the outside of the ball and being relaxed. So I love making this video. The buggy whip is near and dear to my heart. I teach it to all my students because I know what a difference it can make in your tennis career and your tennis playing, help you win more matches. So if you enjoyed this video, share it with others. Leave us a comment below if you agree or disagree with the buggy whip forehand. We're here to help. Also, turn on your notifications, subscribe to the channel, and finally, we've got a free instructional course to offer you. It's premium content. It's inside our Tennis Evolution app. That free gift, you can access it by clicking the link in the description below or somewhere in this video. Here's to buggy whips and getting your tennis to the next level. Thank you, Rafael Nadal, for showing us how you use the buggy whip forehand. We're gonna model you more and more. Appreciate your time, everyone, today. Thanks, and we'll see you at the next lesson.